Hello, world. It's been a minute. Welcome back to Golf Subpar, Colt Knost, and Drew Stoltz. We took a nice little break over the holiday sleeves. We had to rest up, get our voices back to where they need to be. But guess what? This is episode 100. We are back. Couldn't be more excited. We have a hell of a show lined up for you. But before we get into it, since it is the 100th episode, let's look back. It's crazy that, we haven't gotten canceled yet through 99 episodes.
True.
Give me the Sleazy Man's favorite episode to date.
Oh,
Granted,
man.
they've all been great, and we love them all.
Going back, hard to believe it's been 100. Right off the jump, we got one of my favorite ones just because of my fandom. The one guy I'll openly claim to be a fan of, the Rat, was right here in studio. That was kind of a surprise one of the few kind of surprises that was just dropped on us with his people out there watching. We're like, hey, do you guys want Cure Deck? I was like, hey, yep, sure enough, sure do. Love the Rat coming on there early. I mean, Commies is an all-time favorite, and that was more just a performance by Mike Commodore than anything else. I really enjoyed Johnny Manziel's, to be honest, because he was kind of quiet at the time. He's out there a little bit more, giving more interviews, talking to people, but to get that inside look on his life from pre-Alabama to when he beat Alabama and the whole world changed for him overnight, that was a big one. It's Stokely recently was great.
Are you just going to list all 99?
I mean, let's go through the list. We got all of them on there. There's a lot. We've had some good times, good guests, a lot of good dudes. Who stands out for you?
Yeah, well, Mike Commodore, whenever I tell anybody, if they're like, what if I'm going to listen to one episode, what would it be? It's him, just because it's so entertaining. If you just, the world needs laughter right now, and no one provides more of that than Mike Commodore. And I can't wait to do episode two of him in 2022. It's going to be we got a lot more to get to with him. But, if you look back at some of the golfers, like Joel Damon, I thought was fantastic. Padraig Harrington, leading into the Ryder Cup, was just awesome. Gary McCord's always a blast. Our guy, Max Homa.
Max is a
fantastic.
Beauty.
We've had some incredible guests. We are very, very lucky, and it's not going to stop. 2022 is going to be bigger and better than ever.
How about George Brett? We forgot about Georgie.
Wow.
Georgie was a 10. That was a blast. We should get him back as well. He can go for days. James Hahn, another one that stands out with all his Craigslisting and whatnot and deal bargaining. That was a fun one, too. Yeah.
But I can't wait to see what 2022 has. As always, thank you all for listening every single week. I've been getting so many phone calls and texts me like, dude, what's going on? I don't have any pods to listen to. I'm like, guys, we just did 50 in a row. And I think going back, we've done 99 in a row. I don't even know if we've had any weeks off.
We're punching the clock.
Yeah. So
punching the clock, and now
we're
back.
2 weeks. That was it. We're back. And like I said, this week's episode is fantastic. We got Kevin Kisner in the building. But before we get to that, we got to talk a little bit because there was a major championship happening here in Scottsdale this past week. The Johnny O Twin Fin, which you were the defending champion of with Andres Gonzalez. We also had the Century Tournament of Champions.
Another minor event. Just a fill-in.
But let's start with the Twin Fin. Pro Scratch here in Scottsdale, Greyhawk. You guys were up there. I did have a first. I was housing your man, Andres Gonzalez.
Now my boy.
Okay. He had a rough travel situation coming from Seattle up there in the snow. He gets here. His flight is supposed to get in at midnight. Doesn't get to my house till 4:30 in the morning. Flight delayed. Clubs don't show up. We're going to go play the Rock. No go. So his clubs finally come that afternoon. He doesn't bring them out of the club glove until the next morning. And he, as many smart traveling golfers do, they take the fairway woods and the heads off their driver so the airlines don't break them. Genius, right? Well, that is unless you forget to put the heads back in the travel bag.
That'll happen.
He pulled his clubs
just
out.
the
He goes,
woods.
well, looks like I'm playing irons only this week, guys.
He used my driver in the practice round, and Dre he's got a unique move, and his clubs are fit a little bit different. It's pretty specific to him and him only. You can't just hand it off. Oh, you're not using your driver. It's different, and he used mine in the practice round. I was like, dude, you better find a way. He's like, don't worry, Colt has some Callaway heads. I can throw them on there, and I'll be okay. I was like, thank God, because we got stressed if this is the way we're driving the golf ball all week. But yeah, that's on par for our team. I brought my Rock Forum speaker to the golf course first day. Ran into a little mishap in the parking lot where found out my house got broken into and robbed. So I was on the phone dealing with these scumbags who jacked all my stuff. By the way, this is how dumb these idiots are. They jacked all my stuff. My closet had a bunch of birdie juice and Get Amongst the gear in there. Didn't even take it. Idiots.
They probably
Most
already bought
valuable
it.
stuff. Yeah, exactly. Probably bought
bought
it.
it.
But anyways, I show up to the course. We race out there. I end up not really hitting any balls. We get up out there, and I'm like, damn, left my speaker. Turns out I'd already put it in my bag. I didn't really realize it till the 8th hole. So we were
rattled.
We were rattled there early on, but once we got the Rock Form on, Whitney got in the earlobes, and everything turned around. We had a good day the first day. I mean, we shot 14. That's as low as we've ever shot day one, and neither of us are near as good as we used to be. And we're like, oh my God, dude.
Yeah,
we're
you're
actually
in the final
doing it.
group. And then Rod Pampling and Mike Rowley, founder of Straight Down Clothing, ended up They shot 17 under the first day, which is a tournament record in a scramble format. Ended up shooting 23 for the victory over Tom Hoagie and Jordan Wolf, both TCU boys. So TCU brought it home. Y'all didn't have the best second day. I believe we ended up tying.
We did tie,
under.
which I didn't find out till the end. I was like,
tied for 14th.
Yeah, top 15.
Yeah.
What do you expect? We expected to suck. We sucked. We just waited one day to suck.
Well, I'll tell you who didn't suck, and that was Cam Smith down in Hawaii, Century Tournament of Champions. 34 under par, record-breaking performance. Had 3 guys break the tournament record in 1 week. Cam Smith, 34 under. John Rahm, 33. Matt Jones in there at 32 under. Just absolute clinic from these guys. Unfortunately for the Kapalua Plantation course, there was just no wind, no defense. It was soft. They played it up the first 2 days, and these guys just torched it.
Yeah, bring your scuba gear out there. I mean, that's a golf course that you plan on having 20-mile-an-hour winds. They got 380-yard par 4s that are playing, typically play straight into the teeth, and you got to hit some shots in there, flight it down. It was 3 woods and sand wedges going into those things. There's just no defense for that place. So you give them a soft golf course with soft greens, the widest fairways on the PGA Tour, and no wind. I don't care what you're going to do. And then you give them a par 73 on top of that. They're going to kill it, and they did it. And, God, I thought Cam Smith just go toe-to-toe with Rahm for 36 holes, come out on top. And it wasn't like Rahm made a double bogey or gave him some room. There was no breathing room. He made 1 bogey all week, 32 birds and an eag. And
for the record, you realize that 1 bogey he made was a lost ball?
Yeah,
and
then he birdied it on the other ball. Yeah,
Jesus.
Exactly. He shot 12 under with a lost ball. I mean, that's just a joke. But he took John's best shot, and I thought Cam, I don't know what he did. He took a little time off during the offseason. He talked about it in his post-round interview, but he had more gas in the tank. He had 3 or 4 more miles an hour ball speed.
178 on 18.
He was hitting it up there with Rahm the whole day, who's the best driver of the golf ball in the world, period. And he just went toe-to-toe. It was just, they were just trading blows like a heavyweight fight. I don't love 30-plus under winning golf tournaments, but it was a battle down the stretch. I like carnage a little bit more, but you got 2 guys at the top of their game playing great golf, and shit, it was fun to watch.
I would say, back to your comment about John Rahm being the best driver of the golf ball, period. That Bryson DeChambeau,
he's pretty good too.
Listen, he's long, and it's crazy how
rough week this week, but he was surprising. When you would think that golf course in those conditions, he would just eat it, and he didn't. I think it was mostly driver this past week, but Rahm, one of, if not the best driver of the golf ball in the world, and Cam was right there with him the entire time.
Matt Jones with the record-setting final 2 days, little 23 under par. 62, 61, just absolutely ridiculous. 23 under par in 2 days of golf. But back to John Rahm, there has never been less doubt that he is the world number 1.
Yeah.
I mean, he is by far and away the best player on the planet. He's going to be a problem for these guys. I think he's going to be number 1 for a long time to come.
Yeah, there's just not a single weakness in that game. The thing that separates him in my mind is if you go back and look at his stats from when he joined the PGA Tour to now, it's hard. There's just very few bad weeks ever. It's always top 10, just top 10, like a bad week is 9th. A bad week is 13th. Other weeks where guys are like, oh, I'm playing great. I finished 13th last week. John's like, throw that out. I sucked. There's never any bad weeks. And the question always gets asked, who's the best if everybody's on, right? Well, everybody's really good if they're on. Go all the way down the list. Go to number 50 in the world. If he's playing his best golf, he's going to be damn hard to beat. But you hardly ever have that. John Rahm's B game or B minus, whatever you want to call it, is head and shoulders above everybody else.
I agree.
It still gets him top 10s over and over. He's a problem.
He is. Well, like I said, this is a very special episode. This is episode 100, and we have a very special guest joining us this week. The mouth of the South, the one, the only, Kevin Kisner joins us. I mean, it's sad that it was on Zoom because I feel like the 3 of us sitting around a table getting amongst it would be just incredible TV. But still, Kiz, one of my favorite guys. I recently emceed his charity event, but he was nice enough to sit down with us for an hour.
We need to get him back. He was on brand. He had a glass of wine that he just opened up. We're having a good time. But Zoom's a little bit different. There's, it's just not quite the same as sitting down. So I think we find another time when it all works out. We're all in the same place at the same time. Run it back and get even a little more in depth with Kizzy. But you mentioned UMC. Before we get to him, we got to talk about the dry heave just a little bit because I think we talked about this leading up to it. Twin fin, dry heave, for those that don't know, it's after the practice round. Everyone goes out to the 10th tee at Greyhawk. You play to the 18th green, which there's a lake in front of. They put the pin up front. We MC the deal. And the whole goal is basically just be as relentless as possible on everyone that comes up. Music's playing.
You did it.
I did it. You take a little bit of a backseat because there's no cameras allowed, but there's a risk if something gets out. It's not all appropriate jokes for everybody, right? You got to be on board with all this stuff. But, God, we unloaded on people. There's some good jokes. Some people took the brunt of it. Never seen a worse performance from the PGA Tour pros in the history of my life. I mean, dude, who can we go through that hit in the water? I mean, Wyndham Clark, water. Oh, here's a guy that hits some pretty good irons. Ches Reavie, soup.
Middle of the soup.
Middle, like didn't even land on land.
You take the hardest day ever at 17 at TPC Sawgrass, and this was worse.
Oh.
There was more balls in the water.
Adam Hadwin, I mean, you go down the list of these tours. I was like, you guys are shit. I'm about to go back to Q school if you guys are winning tournaments. But, man, we had a good time. I really love those things where it's kind of no holds barred, just rapid fire.
That's your specialty.
That's my number one thing.
But
if you ever need that, holler at your boy.
Just an unbelievable conclusion. And we'll go ahead and spoil our guest next week, the great John McGinnis. Comes in, walk off, straight off his SiriusXM radio show, hasn't hit a ball, last guy to hit, 93 yards, grabs a pitching wedge, takes a rip, spins it back to 1 foot 1 inch, winner, club in the air, everyone went crazy, everyone loves John McGinnis, which, wait till you hear this episode, it's absolutely incredible. But John McGinnis is your 2022 dry heave winner.
Just Cinderella story, walked straight in there, grabbed a pitching wedge, 93 yards. Most guys are hitting lob wedges or sand wedges. He just grabs full bore pitching wedge and somehow was able to bring it back. Hits, spins back to like a foot. And the whole goal, the whole thing is to make sure a tour player doesn't win this thing. And Johnny, God bless you, you did it, bro.
He did. A lot of good things happen when you come on Golf Subpar. We've said it. I mean, he comes on, he wins the dry heave. All these guys come on, they've played great. Our guest this week, Kevin Kisner, goes to Kapalua. Terrible golf course for him.
Yep.
7,600 yards, long, soft, top 10s it. Got to be a successful week. Contribute to only one thing, Golf Subpar. You want to play great, guys? You're in a slump? Call us.
We're the reverse Manning cast.
Exactly.
If you're firing this week, Kiz is a good one to have down there in Hawaii. And also, I don't know how much you get into the Champions Tour gambling. I played with Rod Pampling the final day. There's the team that ended up winning the Twin Fin. Pretty damn good right now. Really damn good. So maybe it's time to dip my toe in the old Champions Tour gambling pool. You know what I mean?
All right. Well, before we get to Kevin Kisner, I got to tell you a little bit about Callaway. Kevin Kisner's a Callaway guy. He's playing their brand new driver, the Callaway Rogue ST. These new drivers are the company's fastest, most stable drivers ever, with industry-leading innovations that create a breakthrough in performance. It's got an all-new tungsten speed cartridge, places specific weight up to 26 grams, low and deep in the head for increased speed, stability, and high MOI. You know what just so happens? I just got one right after the Twin Fin.
Are you hitting seeds?
Smashing it.
Seeds.
I mean, who would have never heard of Rod Pampling if I'd had this driver
I need
before
one,
the Twin Fin.
I need one. Do they make an illegal one?
I actually tried to get one of those every time.
Trampoline, I need it.
But it's the industry leader in artificial intelligence. They have lowered spin and increased forgiveness in their face optimization formula. Rogue was the most played model at the Century Tournament of Champions this year. To find out more, be sure to visit CallawayGolf.com/Rogue Drivers. All right, they got 4 different options too, Sleaze. It's not just a one-hit wonder here. We got the Rogue ST Max, which is Callaway's best combination of distance and forgiveness. Fits the majority of players out there. We got the Rogue ST Max D, dedicated to draw model for players who need the most shop shape correction. You're a slicer of the golf ball, the Max D is for you. Then we got the Rogue SD Max LS, stronger trajectory, lower spin, and more neutral ball flight. And then we got finally the one I play, the Rogue ST Triple Diamond LS, a compact low spin head for better players.
Triple Diamond. How is it off the toe? I need something good off the toe after this past week.
It just draws right back in there nicely. High, stays in the air, will tumble for you.
High and long and far. Okay, done.
That's the one. Go check out that new Callaway Rogue ST driver, the #1 driver in golf. CallawayGolf.com/Rogue. All right, here he is, the one, the only, Kevin Kisner.
All right, we got a certified dude with us here today. The man likes himself a cold beer. He enjoys watching a little football, not to mention racked up 4 wins on the PGA Tour. Basically, he's got life figured out pretty good. Kevin Kisner, welcome, as he takes a drink of red wine.
What's up, boys? Thanks for having me on. I feel like I just got to a new level of my career, finally getting asked to be on your podcast.
Well, first off, that is just rude because I've asked you many a time, so don't even say that. You know, you're too busy with the boys over at Foreplay. You know, I'm surprised you haven't got a restraining order on Riggs yet.
You know, that I just put out a little tweet talking trash about you, and that was the first thing somebody said was, how can you go on a podcast that had Riggs on before you?
Wow. It's a good question. I think we've heard from his attorney since this thing started. Cease and desist right now. He's got a monopoly on kids. He's going to be pissed. Tough shit, Riggs.
I haven't actually heard from old Riggs in a while. He moved out there to Scottsdale. He's your boy now.
I know.
I'm running around.
I'm having to babysit him out here. I ran into him at the Cardinal game last night. He asked me to take him to Whisper Rock. I'm like, Jesus, guy. Thought you were like this rich ass fucking podcast guy. Can't you afford your own membership out at Whisper Rock?
Hey, but before we go, congrats! I saw your Instagram or tweet today.
Oh, thanks, buddy.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yeah,
I don't know when you're putting this out.
Yeah, no, you're allowed to say it. You can praise me all you want.
Mm-hmm. Layer it on. You ain't gonna say no.
Cool.
I appreciate it. I'm very, very excited. I can't wait to be out there following your group and having you fuck with me all the time. I
just hope I'm in a group that you're following, Colt.
I do too, because I got a lot to say when you're in the group. It's a lot of fun.
You got a little time off right now for the first time in a while. Walk us through 2 weeks off in the life of Kevin Kisner.
I leave tomorrow to go on a 7-day hunting trip. So
there it is.
Take my kids to school in the morning, pack up the truck. Actually picking up Scott Brown. He's going for about 3 days of it. Brian Harmon, Hudson Swafford from St. Simons is driving up, meeting me. Harold Varner's coming down from Charlotte. We got a big crew, bunch of guys getting together down at my farm on the coast of South Carolina and hunting for a few days. And my family's coming down over the weekend.
What are we hunting for?
Damn. Yeah. Big game.
Well, mostly anything except humans.
Okay, perfect. That's good.
You could probably negotiate that.
No. Yeah, exactly. No, we got a big duck hunt. We'll do some quail hunting. We'll deer hunt. All these guys like to shoot a bunch of deer, so I've never been that crazy about it, but I'll put them on them. So I'll send y'all some pictures of all the dead shit we have.
Perfect. Sounds incredible. Well, while we're on the topic of the off season, I mean, obviously, you're a big Georgia Bulldog fan. We got a rather big game coming up. I know you're disappointed about what happened a couple weeks ago at the SEC Championship, but let's talk a little Georgia football with us. How are we feeling heading into the college football playoffs?
Man, to be honest, I told my wife in the third quarter, half through the second half, I said, it's amazing that I can be this depressed with 19-year-old kids. Like, I quit drinking. I saw the writing on the wall. I went in my own room in my house, told everybody to leave, and I just sat there and watched us lose. And I was so depressed, I didn't want to talk to anyone. So my whole perspective, like the season was going just how I saw it perfectly. And if we finally beat Alabama, I wouldn't even really cared what happened in the playoffs. But hopefully it lit a fire in their ass and they'll be ready to go for the playoffs. I don't really like that line in the Michigan game because I don't see how we're 9 points better than Michigan, but I don't know. I do a lot of gambling and a lot of losing, so I'm sure Georgia will cover.
You're in good company.
Tell me this: would you give up one of your 4 PGA Tour wins for Georgia to win the national championship?
Ooh, shit.
Ooh, that's tough. Do I get to keep the money and you can just say I have to win? I don't have to win anymore?
I was about to say that's $1 million plus fandom right there.
Yeah, if you can just give the trophy back.
I've received exactly $0 from the University of Georgia, but a free education, I guess, is worth it. But now that I've piled all the money back into it, I feel like I'll just keep my check and my trophies, and hopefully they pull it out. But I love my man Kirby. We've gotten to be good friends, and I hope he does it, man. I feel like it'll open the floodgates if he can just finally do it.
Kids, we saw the tweet that you had to send out from JT. Clearly, had it scripted for you. You had to call Nick Saban daddy and all that. What was the other side of that bet? Was it another tweet that JT had to send out that you wrote?
Oh yeah.
What was it? Do you remember it?
Mine wasn't gonna be. He has to be so like. He's a superstar and I'm not, so he has to be very safe. So he was like making me continue to send him drafts, and I was like, you know what? We'll just see how the game goes. He's like, I'm scared. And then all of a sudden he wants to tweet me 25 times during the game. And I just think that's pretty funny.
Well, you might get another shot at them. Y'all take care of business. They're probably going to take care of business against Cincinnati. And then y'all get another one. But Athens is a special place. I've spent 1 week there in my life, and I had so much fun. It was unbelievable. Tell us a little bit about what it was like going to college down there.
Whew. Made me a worse golfer, didn't it? I don't have many breaks, as you know very well, Colt, and Sleaze. I've only partied with you a few times, but I'm not very good at let's just have a few drinks. I either want to have all of the drinks or none of the drinks. So a lot of brown liquor and a lot of late nights, and early golf turned into some bad golf quickly. But I had the most fun of my life ever there. And that's why I think I'm so passionate still about the program, because, I mean, I met my wife there and truly defined who I was by going there. So it's 2 hours away from the house. I still go up there 3 or 4 times a year to football games. Got so many friends and support from that time that it's just a place I'll never forget. And my kids are hooked on it now. I took them to 2 football games this year, and they run around the house yelling "Go Dogs" and doing the chants. So hopefully they'll be hooked on going there when the time arises.
I saw that before you turned pro, you were actually accepted into the Georgia Law School. Is that right? Are you sneaky smarter than you let on?
I was never accepted in the Georgia Law School.
Somebody
You got to edit your Wikipedia,
your
bro.
Wikipedia is messed up.
And Wikipedia is fact. If it's on that thing, I just say it.
Well, that's pretty cool that they talking me up that I'm smart, though.
I was about to say, you hide it well, bro.
I hide it very well.
What was your?
I wish I couldn't make it through a semester at law school.
I was impressed.
What was your go-to spot there in Athens? Because I found a place on a Tuesday night there. I think it was called, is it Bourbon Street?
Oh yeah, happy hour at Bourbon Street's always good too.
We got like
I think it's still there too, man.
We got like 5 beers and 10 shots, and it was like $14. I was like,
God,
I'm fucking moving here. This place is incredible.
Yep. Yep.
You could literally go there for happy hour. Who knows what you were drinking? But if you had $9 in your pocket, you could stumble out of there by 11 o'clock.
Sounds incredible.
College was so good, wasn't it? God damn. It's so good. Who are the
You can't even buy a drink for $9. I can't even tell you the last time I bought a drink for $9.
$9 gets you a Fiji, maybe half of a Fiji. Maybe. I mean, it's nothing. Who are the guys you were running around with in Athens? Were you hanging out with more of the golf team, going out with those guys having a good time, or were you running around with different people?
Man, I had one of the best setups ever, and I hope whoever owned that bar isn't ever listen to this. But one of my friend's dads played golf at Georgia. He didn't play golf, but he was a bartender at General Beauregard's. He was in my wedding. His name's Bill Holbrook, one of the best guys in the world. But he would trade me bar tabs for golf swag. So I could go in there and just send it all night. My tab would be $10. And then I'd just drop off like 2 dozen logoed balls and a sweatshirt at his apartment the next week and roll on.
Fair trade.
That's NIL these days, that's way above board.
I wish I was around in NIL. I could have had some major money.
No doubt. Let's talk a little about when you turned pro, though, after school. Obviously, you had a very successful college career. And you go on to turn pro, and, you know, it started off a little slow for you. You played on the jicky jacks for a little bit, as Sleaze likes to call them.
Nothing wrong with the jicks.
Yeah. Tell us a little about the start of your professional career.
Shit, I was the richest guy in Aiken, I thought, when I was on the jicky jacks. Made like 117 grand one year. I was rolling. Yeah, man, I don't know. I got worse in college. I was like unbelievable my freshman year, and then slowly declined because I enjoyed college, which I think all these kids should do, but none of them seem to do that anymore. And so when I realized, I actually went to work for my dad out of college because I wasn't sure if I even wanted to play golf. And I made that about 3 weeks or a month and said, this sucks, I'm going to the range. And he gave me 16 grand to start, and I won my third tournament, I think, on the mini tours, and kind of off to the races from there. Tried in tour school, didn't make it, I don't think, for 3 tries, and then finally made it through, and missed my card by 1, I think, and then played a full year on the web and got my card that year winning on the web. I think it was a perfect trajectory, to be honest, because I wasn't ready to be on the PGA Tour even when I made it. I literally walked out to no swing coach, didn't know anybody, thought I was a badass, and then slowly got my teeth kicked in. So there's such a different time and age now compared to 2010 when I started, that these kids come out, you know, ready to roll, and I didn't have a clue. I showed up at the Sony Open thinking I was going to win, and I think I finished last. So I had a big learning curve, and that was after 4 years of trying to make it.
Yeah, like you said, you went out there, you get your tour card, then you lose it, you go back, you re-get it again. When you have like 2 years on the PGA Tour like you had, and then you got to go back and play a year on the Korn Ferry Tour before you get it back, is that the toughest pill to swallow as a professional golfer to be at the pinnacle and then have to regress and go back down and spend a year there?
Oh, I was quitting, man. You can ask my wife. I'm pretty sure I went back to the Corn Fair or the Web back then, and I was in like Colombia or somewhere, and I got the nastiest stomach bug and was sick for 3 days and had to either withdrew or I played through it or something. And I was gonna go to Chile the next week, and I called her like, I think I'm just gonna fly home. And she's like, well, you're already down there. You might as well go play. And then I won the next week in Chile and got my card back. So it's crazy how you hear those stories all the time, but I'm like living proof of it.
Always listen to your wife.
She's way smarter than me, as you know.
There's no doubt about that.
She probably did go to law school. Hey, quick rewind.
It was probably her that got accepted to law school.
Yeah, easy mistake. Wikipedia, I'm going to sue their ass after the show. Before you got on the tour and you were playing on the jigs, and that was like the golden era of the jig. Like you said, you made 117,000. You could do that back then. You can't do that now. But give me one guy that you were playing. I think you were playing Hooters and Tar Heel at the time. Give me one guy that you thought was really good that would make it on the PGA Tour who never panned out.
David Robinson was incredible. He won all the time. He caddies for Jason Kokrak right now.
Yeah.
Jason Kokrak, like D-Rob won every week because it was 6,700 yards, and nobody really cared about distance back then. Like, I don't know if y'all remember this, but 15 years ago, nobody's like, holy shit, that guy hits a 300. Nobody said anything. They're just like, well, he shot 68 or whatever he shot. That's all you talked about. Now all you talk about is how far does that guy hit it. And D-Rob just hit it 260 down the middle, hit it 20 feet, and made 8 of them a day and beat our ass. So he had a hell of a career. And then I remember when Jason, his boss, came on and he hit it 350 yards, and everybody's like, holy shit, but he couldn't putt. And everybody's like, well, fuck him, he sucks, he can't putt. And now you see what he's doing on tour and rolling, and he's going to be a top 30 guy in the world for the rest of his career.
Yeah, he can absolutely
He almost shut it down, too, during that time.
Yeah.
We talked to him about that during that same time you were playing.
Go back to that distance thing, because I know you recently paired up with Max Homa at the Shark Shootout, and I was talking to him, and I guess he had to play off a couple of your tee shots, and you just looked at him and said, it's not that fun, is it, being back here?
Man, not only that, I was not hitting driver worth of shit last week, and so that just exacerbated the distance. Like, he's striping it and he's hitting it. He hits it 15 or 20 by me already. And then I'm heel cutting him down the middle, just trying to give him something in play. And he's hitting bombs after I do that, 30 by me. And he's like, well, I'm going to hit the 8-iron back here. I'm like, okay, bud. Because he was striping it. And yeah, there was a few shots where I go, damn, it's not that easy from back here, is it, buddy? On 18, he hit it in the water, and I had 217 in, and he had to hit 4-iron into the wind from 217, and he hit like 15 feet, of course. I was like, do you not think I'm one of the best players in the world? He's like, what do you mean? I go, I mean, think about how good I have to be when I play from back there.
it's a good point.
You ain't lying.
I mean, it's a lot of people said like Corey Pavin was by far the best player in the world, considering he's given up 80 yards to every guy.
Hey, you won at Shinnecock. Yeah.
Fred Funk. I mean, think about him. Brian Gay. How about Brian Gay? How many years in a row has he kept his card hitting at 260?
Yeah.
Yeah, probably really 4 spots on tour. He feels like he could possibly win showing up, realistically.
I mean, the fact that he can make $1 million hitting at 260 is incredible.
Well, you ain't doing too bad for yourself. You've been out there a long time. We talked about you had to go back to the Corn Ferry Tour. You got your car back. You get on tour. Starting in 2014 and really into 2015, you come back, like, you were a different beast. I think you had 4 runner-ups in 2015. You got your first win later that year at the RSM. What changed from the time when you lost your card to 2015 when all of a sudden you were a world beater?
Man, I mean, I always tell people that I'd have to credit John Tillery because he's the first guy that I worked with on my golf swing that I actually felt like I knew what he was talking about and I knew what I was doing to make the golf ball go where I thought it should. So I always had this crazy confidence, and I still do. I'm cocky as shit. That's the only reason I'm 5'10", 160 pounds and play on tour. But like, I knew where my golf ball is going to go, and I can putt. So, like, get the hell out of the way. Watch this. Hold my beer was kind of mentality. And as soon as I started seeing golf shots that I'd never seen before and hitting 6-irons right at the flag, I'm like, holy shit, I can beat the hell out of these guys. and I kind of took off and ran with it from there.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you found yourself in a number of playoffs that obviously didn't go your way. Was that frustrating, or was that like, okay, I'm this close? I mean, I'm one shot away from winning a whole bunch of golf tournaments.
Yeah, I think you kind of, like, in my opinion, I always thought about my trajectory. Like, I basically came out of college not even thinking I was going to play golf, to playing mini tours, to playing the Corn Ferry Tour, to playing the PGA Tour, getting my teeth kicked in, to now all of a sudden I'm winning golf tournaments and losing in playoffs. How pissed off can you be? So it wasn't like I was Tiger Woods and expecting to win the first tournament I ever came to. So it was kind of cool to see the trajectory. Obviously, I was disappointed not to win the playoffs. But it is what it is. That's basically a crapshoot at that point. I tell people all the time, I've never made a bogey in a playoff, I don't think. And I've never won a tournament until the Wyndham, and I had to birdie the second hole. So it's not like I'm out there, making doubles and triples in the playoffs to lose.
And you had to dodge a 4-footer from Adam Scott.
Mm-hmm.
That was the craziest shit I ever seen. I love Adam. He's a great dude, but I'd already put all my shit up, and Dewey and I were talking about how we're getting to New York, and does he want to fly with me that night? And then he's like, "Oh shit, we got to go back to the tee."
Yep, I was there. Y'all were gonna make me miss my flight. I was like, this 6-man playoff's gonna go 2 days.
The 6 man, yeah. The other ones have been, mano-y-mano, and then that's the one.
Colt, should I not have won in regulation with my second shot?
Yes, you got absolutely hosed. And I'll be honest, I was following your group. It hung up on the back fringe. I even walked within about 8 feet of it. Even gave it a little, trying to get it to blow down there close to the hole. Couldn't get it to move.
If Colt can't blow it in, dude, it can't be blown in.
I'm not supposed to be biased. But
I was fucking sitting back there in the fairway waiting on the crowd to cheer. I'm like, why the fuck are they not cheering, Dewey? What are we waiting on? Funny as shit.
That ball started rolling. I was like, that's going to come back to a kick in, and it just hung like on the littlest piece of grass. I'm like, oh my God, we're going to be here for a year. Never going to get out of Greensboro, North Carolina.
He had 72 hole playoff with 6 guys. By the way, you might be the last guy, kids, that Colt ever admits to openly rooting for now that he's going corporate now. You're going to have to be very impartial going forward.
Well, now he's so big time, he can't do it anymore.
He'll just say, oh, man, tough break there. We'll see how it plays out.
So what is your new role? Are you going to be like taking over last group or whatever on Saturday and Sunday?
I think Miss Dottie's still going to have the last group on Saturday and Sunday. I'll go with the next one.
Well, please, if you ever get to interview my boy Scott Brown, do it like Dottie when she told him that since he had never won a tournament, was he nervous, and he had already won a tournament. Have you ever seen that interview?
That's good shit. Make sure you do that. Just get up there and wing it. Hey, what's your name?
I had to freaking shrink down, dude, and I was like, oh my God, did she just say that? I got to hide. God, it was funny.
What did he respond with after that? Yeah, that'll last forever.
I'm pretty sure he said, well, actually, I did win last year in Puerto Rico, so I've been in this situation before or something.
God,
I was like, get her, Scott.
Oh, those are the ones that make
All right, we got to go back
cringe.
up the gym.
Yeah.
It's over.
Let's talk.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I just meant, I think she said something like, I meant a full field event or something like that. I'm like, God dang.
Just kick the man. Wow. I love it. Well, let's talk a bit about your first win. 109 starts, and then you just go out there. You've lost, I think, 3 playoffs at the time, and then you go out there and you just absolutely slap everyone around and win by 6.
That's way easier, dude.
Yeah, why didn't you do that instead of going to playoffs?
No shit. I need to try that more often. I don't think you'll see that much on tour anymore, do you?
No, the guys are so good and so competitive. It's hard to run away from fields. But my question is, what did it finally feel like to get that monkey off your back? Because I know every single week you were one of those guys that had to answer the question like, Kiz, when are you going to get this done?
Well, I'll tell you, I remember I had like a 3-shot lead starting Sunday, and it was the most nervous I'd been on a Sunday because I felt like all I could do was screw it up. And whereas all the playoffs, I don't think I was either tied for the lead or one ahead or one back. And I remember warming up thinking, man, to get this done, you got it in your hands. It's time to go. And I remember the first hole I hit barely in the first cut, and the pin was back right, and I caught a little bit of a flyer and it chased over the green in the back rough. I'm like, oh shit, here we go. And somehow I hit a chip 4 or 5 feet and made that for par. And then I think I birdied 4 or 5 of the next 6, and it was basically over after that. So I was playing with Chappie. That was cool to have one of your good friends in the group. And I'll never forget on 9, I think I was 4 or 5 under on the front. Or we could actually probably look back here and see.
There it is.
We could just go look at some
Dude, there's too many of them. We don't even know what we're looking at.
Imagine if you won all those playoffs. You'd need another wall.
Yeah, you'd have to build a new house.
No shit, I need another house.
You'd break even on the deal.
I remember Chappie, I hit like a 30-footer on 9 for birdie. It's rolling, and it's like halfway there. And he looks at me and goes, "You win." Buried right in the back.
That's awesome.
That is awesome.
So it was pretty smooth sailing on the first win on the back 9. I think I had 5 or 6 shot lead going on the back 9. It was pretty calm on the way in.
Yeah, how big's that lead got to be on your first win before you start thinking like, okay, I think I got this one?
Well, you guys know as well as I do. You're always thinking about what's the worst possible thing that can happen. So you gotta just refocus. But shit, I don't think I was like completely sane with what was going on until after that 16th tee shot. Because 16 at Sea Island, you got that lake left, and you can literally stand there all day if you just keep pumping them in the lake. So I'm like, how far right can I hit it on this son of a bitch? And then I'm good to go.
That's the way I thought. I figured y'all would think different.
Y'all, I'm sitting here interviewing him.
Yeah, good point. I figured kids would think different.
Kids has never interviewed me.
Yeah, good point. He should. He's missing out.
That's a good point. But, hey, we got to talk a little
bit about... Sure
Do what?
I'm pretty sure I'll probably ask you some questions along the way.
Oh, we've definitely talked about some things. There's no doubt about it. Let's talk a little bit about your match play record because it's unbelievable. I mean, you made it to the finals of the WGC. You've won the WGC. You went undefeated in the President's Cup in 2017, which, by the way, pretty much everyone won that week. I don't know if
y'all did good.
The international team scored a point.
Y'all did good.
But what are these Ryder Cup captains thinking when it comes down to it when they got the man who has arguably the best match play record on the PGA Tour?
I don't know, man. They don't like me, I guess.
Yeah, they must hate a guy that's really tough. I
don't know.
Doesn't play.
Yeah. I've had the same phone call for about 4 years in a row from every captain. Man, you were on the team and then you didn't play well in the playoffs. I'm like, okay, bud. I don't know. I didn't give a shit. It's too political for me, and I don't really care. I don't really get caught up in that shit. I love Stricker to death. He's my favorite captain, but he didn't pick me this year, which I get. I didn't play worth a shit in the playoffs. Whatever. It's fine. I don't really care. I love playing team golf. I love representing the U.S. I'd love to be on any team possible, but like if my career ended tomorrow, I'm perfectly content with everything I've accomplished. You'd have told me 15 years ago, you're going to have 4 wins, play on a President's Cup, play in 35 straight majors or whatever the hell I've done. I'd have been like, you're fucking crazy. So I'm pretty good with what I've done. And, I got a kick-ass foundation and I got a cool family and I get to do anything in the world I want to fucking do. So fuck them.
Fuck them. Hey, you got a nice head of hair and you got a whole wall full of plaques in the background, dude. Things could be worse. But hey, being that you are one of the best match play players out there, I want to float this by you. I think that you're the first person I've come publicly with this, but I got an idea for the match play tournament. All right?
Yeah.
Tell me if you're in for this, okay? Colt and I have discussed this on radio, but right now you guys do the ping pong ball thing, right? They draw it and they release the pods and all this stuff, and that's how it's done. All right. Well, instead of doing that, let's say, all right, starting this next year, world number 1. All right, John Rahm, you're up, and he gets to go up there and he gets to pick the next the 63 remaining guys who he wants to play. All right, John Rahm picks this guy. Boom, that's the first match. Then number 2, all right, DJ, you're up. You pick the next guy. And you go down the list, and you play the matches like that. If somebody upsets somebody, they take over that spot. So if Rahm loses in the first round, whoever he pick is now the first picker in the next round, and you get some drama around these things and a little bit of hate going into these things. Is that a good idea or a shit idea?
It's a great idea, but you got a bunch of prima donnas that you're going to have to pay to come do that shit.
You don't think people would want to get up there and say, all right, I picked you, nitwit. I got you. First round. Let's go. Made for TV.
You can't get the top 32 in the world. You can't get 32 dudes to show up in one place to do anything.
Yeah, that's a good point. What if we just stopped? What if we started doing the TV thing starting in like the round of 16? They just text in their pick.
I'm in.
That'd be fun as shit, wouldn't it?
Text in their pick. I want Colt Knost.
That's what I'm saying.
He is my next opponent. Yeah, I would do it. I would
want those problems.
Yeah, but inherently, all golfers are pussies, so you got to think about that.
That's a valid point. Valid point. But I want you to float that out there to Monahan next time you see him. Say, hey, Sleaze had an idea. Colt's in on it. You're in on it. You're the guy in match play. I think that's enough to move the needle.
I think you should say Sleaze has this idea, and if he likes it, then say Colt.
Yeah. Use me first. Use me as the bait.
Yeah.
Who the fuck
We're
is
getting
that?
Colt to MC it.
Yeah.
Oh, that would be perfect.
He'd be like, "Oh, you called out kids, all right."
Mm-hmm.
I
We
wouldn't call
Don
out-
King the shit out of that thing. It would be perfect.
Ooh, I'd get a little wig, get it way up there.
Oh yeah,
high.
get it big.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Yeah, throw a little pick.
Your foundation was a blast, though. By the way, thank you again for having me.
Hey, you're the man for doing it. You're incredible. I'm so glad you were there to cover for my ass. But I got a question for you. I've been told to ask you about your first trip to Panama with Broadway and Chris Cox.
Oh, a little role reversal here.
Oh, well, see, I don't know if you
Yeah,
know this.
perfect.
This isn't your show, Kiz.
Oh, I'd like to hear the answer to that, kids. I've been wondering about that for a while
Well,
now.
we had a great time. There was a lot of nice sights to see down there in Panama.
You're getting a little
but I
bread,
will say
kids.
this is actually a great story. So Nick Malinowski was like an alternate, and he ended up caddying for me that first week, and it was my first start on the Corn Ferry Tour, and we're walking by, and Broadway always called me Junior, and he goes, "Junior, how's it going?" And Malinowski looks over at him, he goes, "This pro golf's a little tougher than that amateur golf." And we just kept on walking. I played terrible. We had a little too much. We had a little too much fun down there in Panama.
Panama, they should write a book or make a movie about
Oh,
that
you
event.
remember
in
how
Panama.
hot it is?
Oh, dude, everything. The guy, it's hot. The bus ride, just bumping around all those bumps the whole way there.
The bus ride.
God, it's the worst.
Dun,
Yep.
dun, dun, dun. Like you and I'd be sitting together just banging our head
Oh.
against each other the whole time.
It's unbelievable.
Oh, a little roll reversal there. You
Oh,
can't
you
see it,
got-
kids. We got a little bit of
Oh,
little sweat beading
there's
up.
some-
He didn't want. I don't
there
know
is
if that was
some
the answer you were looking for, but my man's
There-
a little nervous. You got any more in that phone of yours? Fire them
Oh,
off.
There are
I
some
love
stories.
this.
That was Broadway. Broadway still owes me money from that trip.
Tell us more about Panama. Start from the beginning.
Oh, that's
Kids,
great.
co-host with me.
So right before we went on, I said, I'm about to go on Subpar with these boys, and I understand Colt Knost texts all my buddies for dirt on me. So why don't y'all send me dirt on him, and I'll flip the role.
Don't worry, this
So
part's
now
getting
my
edited out.
phone's freaking blowing up with all these motherfuckers texting me.
What else you got? We got
Nothing.
time. We'll put
No,
it
we
on
don't.
pause.
We got stuff to do. We got more people to get to after Kiz.
Yeah.
We ain't got time for all this. We got to talk about Kevin Kisner. We're focused on
That's
him.
right. This is the kids' hour.
All right, I got one more.
There we
I
go.
got one more. Can we
Perfect.
do one more? We got time?
It's your show, kids.
All right,
Let's
this
go.
comes from a guy that's bald and might work for Barstool. Ask Colt about when we went out in Old Town. Me, him, and Max and the kid saw us and had no clue who Colt was, and asked him to take a pic of him with me and Max.
That is actually not true.
Ah.
That is not true at all.
Oh,
Riggs is making shit up
no.
again.
Oh no!
God, here we go.
Oh gosh, dude,
God.
he's that glued to Twitter right now. He's like, he feels like he's watching his girlfriend
Yeah.
cheat on him
Riggs-
with somebody
Riggs is
else,
just-
and he's trying to intervene.
Unbelievable, Riggs. If you're gonna talk shit, at least make sure it's
He didn't
true.
like it.
He is sweating somewhere right now.
I love
Looking
it.
at pictures of y'all two together. Good old days.
Do you
Right
wanna-
after I said I hadn't heard from that guy.
There he is.
I hadn't heard from him in a while.
Well, he's everywhere. He had
You know he's on Twitter.
at the football game. His badge said stadium employee.
Oh, he got a new gig. That's
I was
probably
like,
why he's
what
working.
the world are you doing? He was with the guy who started that Owens Mixers.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, and he was just walking around, stadium employee. What a gig.
yeah. Owens Mixers.
We're gonna
I
get
got
to.
the sleazy
By the way,
picture.
when
At
we
the
get,
Cardinals game?
when we get to the E9, Riggs is involved. So just stay
Oh, is
tuned.
he?
Don't
I
worry.
got we might have some overlap here.
Yeah, that's fine. But I do got to ask you a little bit about the majors because you said 35 straight majors and all that. You finished second at Carnoustie. You had a chance at Quail Hollow.
I don't know how many it is. I just made that. Hey, hold on. I just made that number up. I don't know how many there is. I played like 7 straight years times 4 is 28 maybe it's
You
close.
sure you didn't get into law school?
Couple years
That was
before that, though.
incredible.
Yeah, well, maybe not majors. Yeah, yeah.
But tell us a little bit about the majors, like your thoughts on it, because it seems like it's become, obviously, the Bombers have a huge, huge advantage. would you say that things have to go pretty much perfectly for you to contend, or when you tee it up each time? Because you've told me before, like Torrey Pines, you're like, what the hell am I going to do here?
I don't even think I can contend in most of them, to be honest. I mean, I'd have to play like perfect golf and lace my forehand right at my target and make putts. I mean, it is what it is. That's fine. That's the way the game is moving. Like St. Andrews, I could win if things lined up properly, but that's 1 out of 4, and that has to be the week. So I can either learn how to hit it further or just be content with where my career is.
What about Augusta for you? Obviously, you've played it a ton. You know, being an Aiken guy, going to University of Georgia.
I can't hit it close enough with the irons I have to hit in, to be honest with you. I stand on 4T, 1 under par or even every year, and I'm like, okay, I've got to play 4, 5, 6, 7 in even par to compete, and I can't do it.
I hit driver on 4 when I played after your foundation event.
Exactly, and I'm not much longer than you.
Yeah, it was, and I 3 went into 5. I'm like, this is fun.
This shit's hard.
Almighty.
20 under.
Oh god.
And my favorite part is everybody's like, oh yeah, it plays way shorter in April. I'm like, oh really? The overseas just starts bounding in April. Yeah, I really see my ball bounding down the fairway.
Yeah, when they mow it back in.
I'll never forget last year on Friday at Augusta. It was kind of a little bit breezy. It wasn't great. And I hit 3 iron on 4. It landed in the pin was back left. It landed in that bottom shelf. It ran up to the top, rolled back down to 55 feet. I 2-putted, great 2-putt. I go to 5 and I lace a driver and I lace a forehand right at it to the front left pin, like not front left, but middle left. It rolls up the hill all the way back to the front fringe. I got 80 feet, 3-putt. So I'm 1 over on those holes. I walked to 16, the pin's back right. I hit what I call as a cut, so it probably went dead straight. At the flag, 6 iron. It lands in the back fringe. 1 hops in the gallery. Now you're playing for bogey. Now I'm 2 over. Then I walk to 17 and I pull it in the left rough, and I got to hit a low hook in the front bunker, and I'm standing there like, Dewey, I've missed 1 shot in 4 holes, and I got to get this up and down to stay 2 over in 4 holes. And the leaders are 15 under. I'm out.
I'm out.
Yep. But you're a bulldog, dude. You're a bulldog. Going back to things broadcasters say about you, every time you're on, at once a week, basically, it's like, this guy's a bulldog. He's a competitor. I want to know, give me the Kevin Kisner top 3 other bulldogs on the PGA Tour.
Dudes that not from Georgia. Just anybody.
Not like, no Georgia bulldog reference. Just guys that are like, he's a bulldog. He's a bulldog. You got to take his last breath, or he hates losing, or whatever.
Abe Answer.
Okay.
I don't know if he's number 1, but he's up there. He's a mid, or I don't know what the politically correct word is. He's a small person and wins. I think that's impressive as shit. How many do I have to name? 3?
Yeah, just anybody that stands out. Harmon gets mentioned a lot in the same breath. I mean, I know he's a Georgia bulldog, but that doesn't matter. Anybody
that's in our era of height that plays on tour and is in the top 50 in the world, I think is incredible. You know who's incredible is Patrick Cantlay. He's a bulldog. Like, he hates losing. I play a lot of money games with him on the side, and I love when he's my partner. Like, he really tries hard. I think that's cool.
Do you feel like he's just too emotional, though, to ever really figure it out? Just a roller coaster out there.
What, like when? Cantlay?
Things really bother him.
That was a joke. I don't know if it translates over Zoom.
His emotions are getting the best of him.
Yeah. You got to wind it back.
Who's your normal Tuesday game now that I'm gone?
Man, I don't really play on Tuesdays anymore, to be honest with you. I mean, I play the Pro-Am, and that's about it. I always like to play with the young guys, or they're not young anymore, but Jordan, JT, and Ricky. I love playing with them. Love playing with G-Dub. But shit, nobody really plays anymore. That's like, we're fucking old. That's what sucks.
It's true.
We used to like all go play, and now it's like, no, my back hurts. I'm gonna wait on the Pro-Am, or I'm not flying in until Tuesday night, or yeah, I've been there 100 times. I mean, we play in the majors, and that's about it.
Who's the guy that you enjoy taking money from, though? If you do play a money game, the guy that's he hands you $100, $20, whatever it is. Who's the guy that you get the most satisfaction from taking it from?
I know this answer.
Jordan Spieth.
Oh, I was wrong.
Yeah, he's got a couple hundos to give. He'll be all right.
Yeah, but he's so sketchy about it. Like, never wants to pay on time. He's like, it's off, but if he wins, he wants his cash right then.
Yeah, I know a few of those guys.
We can start spreading that word. Jordan, pay your debts, bud.
All right, we'll bring that up next time.
I love it. Well, let's get to the E9.
Who did you have, Colt?
I thought you would pick the Seagull, Charlie Hoffman.
Oh, God, that was a good one. I didn't think about that. I would probably actually put Charlie in front of Jordan, now that you mentioned that.
Yeah, he's the best because
I play all the time with Charlie, and he's hilarious, man.
Is there a more fitting nickname for any human in the world than the Seagull?
No. Didn't you come up with it?
I did not. I spread the word. We actually learned recently from him that his old caddy, John Mallinger's old caddy, Scotty McGinnis, is the one who actually came up with it.
Yes. He needs to be credited.
All right.
Scotty McGinnis and caddies for Scotty Scheffler now?
He used to caddy for Scotty Scheffler. They recently parted ways, but yes, that's him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. But Scotty Scheffler's got the Ted Scott on
that's that's pretty good. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
I was about to tell you, you might want to quit your on-course commentating and caddy for Scheffler. He's going to make a fucking boatload of money.
Yes, he is. He can absolutely go.
Not a bad gig if he can get it.
Well, Kiz, your wine looks like it's getting a little low, so we're going to get to the E9 real quick. 9 fun questions for Kevin Kisner. You ready?
I'm ready.
All right. We ask this to everybody. You can trade lives with anyone on the planet, dead, alive, whatever, for a day. You can be anybody else for a day. Who would you be?
Jesus Christ.
Okay, that's a first.
Which day? He's had some good days and some bad days.
Oh, God.
From the day he rises, man.
Yeah, that's the one.
Not the day he dies.
Yeah, 3 days earlier would have been a shit day to pick.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But if that sucker's so good that he can keep up with all of us on a daily basis, I want to see what that's like.
All right, Jesus. That's our first
Jesus.
That'd be a tough one to top. That's going to be a tough one to top. All right, we used to ask this one, though. I kind of want to know your take on this. We used to ask if your movie was being made about the life of Kevin Kisner, what actor do you want to play you? Who would you want for that? This doesn't count. This is a bonus question.
Matthew McConaughey.
That feels realistic, actually.
Yeah.
He won't even, the accent's already there.
He can do the southern drawl.
He likes to drink a little bit.
All right.
He's going to take his shirt off at some point in the movie. People are going to like that. It's a good pick. Okay.
Right, next one.
Most people like my shirt off, too.
Yeah, that's a toss-up, I think, across the board. All right, next question. You, Brian Harmon, Scott Brown, Hudson Swafford, you're all in the middle of the woods. You only got a bow and a knife. You got a battle to the death, Hunger Games style. Who comes out alive?
Of the 4 of us?
Yeah, only one can survive.
I haven't fucked with Harold in the woods enough to know, but I'm picking me or Harmon.
You or Harmon coming out? That would be the final fight.
I haven't messed with Harold in the woods enough to know, but he's kind of dirty. He might try to go dirty early, but Hud will be just like too silly to catch on, so he'll be easy.
I don't think you can be quiet enough to sneak up on anybody.
Right.
All right, I love it. All right, next question. When you hear the name Peter Tomasulo, what do you think?
The clown that played on the Corn Ferry Tour that he tried to act like texting me all the time.
I heard it worked pretty well.
For like a year.
Tell us a little bit about it. You don't have to say the name of who he is acting to be like, but tell us a little bit about what Peter did to you.
I can't even remember that guy's name, but
well, I know it. If you say it.
he texted me like somebody on the web tour that was a donk, and for the whole year asking me to do shit for a whole year, like let's go to dinner, let's play a practice round, and I just fucking shaded him off for a whole year until I finally called him one night when we were drunk at a dinner or somewhere. God damn, that was one of the worst jokes ever played on me. Fuck him for that.
He told me he had you going for a long time.
Oh, like I'm not shitting you, like a whole year. every week. And then finally it came to a head in a restaurant. I think we were all together. I think you might have even been there. Were you not there?
Yeah. So what happened was he just casually slipped up the name of the person. And you're like, wait a second. That was you?
That's right.
Time? Yeah. It was good. It was well played by Pete.
What a how did I not have his phone number that whole time? He was doing it from his actual phone number.
Yeah, that was his entertainment for
And you know how many times I hung out with Pete Tomasulo and didn't have his phone number? How fucked up was that? Like literally we went to dinner, played practice rounds together, and I never had his phone number. He's literally texting me from his phone number from acting like somebody else.
I love it. You would get so mad. I loved it so much. I did that to Daniel Berger, acting like a caddy one time, and he went to the tour and complained. It was great.
Oh, Petey. He's a mischievous little critter. All right, next one. How does it make
you... Hey, hold on before we go forward. Where is Pete? I haven't seen him in forever.
I just saw him. He's out
in California.
California. He's a businessman.
He's doing a little commercial real estate, playing businessman out there.
I figured you're going to say selling insurance like everybody else, but
I think it's basically
commercial
the same.
real estate.
Just plays golf with dudes.
Yeah, works for a really rich guy. Pretty standard.
Yeah, you know, his skill set's limited, as you know. He's kind of boxed in.
He didn't get into law school.
No, he would never admit it to Georgia law. That's a rare breed. All right, next one. How does it make you feel when you fly a bunch of your guys home private out of the goodness of your heart after playing your charity event, and when you land, your car is the only one not there?
Oh, man. You know what? To be honest, I don't really give a shit because for those dudes to take the time out, like I'm not trying to be sappy, but like Colt flew over there, took time out of his schedule. I paid him $0, and 19 tour players showed up in my event. I paid them $0. For them to all take time out of their schedule and come support me and help what we're trying to do in our foundation is pretty special. So the fact that I'm in a town that I know very well and I can get around, I wasn't too concerned. Now, the other tour players thought it was the funniest shit in the world that there was 12 BMWs backed in perfectly with everybody's name in the windows except for mine, and I just standing there hungover as shit, dead, tired, and I had no ride. They all got a good kick out of that. But to be honest, if not still drunk. It was a long couple days, bud.
It was a lot of fun, though.
I can't imagine how you – I haven't even talked to you about Augusta, but I can't imagine how you felt at Augusta that day.
Well, I felt better than the boys I was playing with. I'll tell you that. They were in rough shape.
I just hung out with Swindell at the Shark Shootout because he did the concert down there, and he's like, "Bud, what happened?"
Well,
I said, "I have no idea. I just got a SOS on where is Cole."
Yeah, we made it. We showed up at Augusta on time. Everyone was well behaved. By the way,
it was all good.
That whole paying $0 thing, I just been waiting on you to ask for my address. I didn't know that was actually what the deal was.
Hey, I flew you over there.
That's true.
Did I put you in first class, I hope?
Yeah, I'll let it slide. Everybody else flew private. I was flying in there.
Yeah, 2B. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's nice. It's
you got me on that dump Augusta, too, so whatever.
Did I at least fly you first class?
Of course you did. You're a gentleman, Kiz. I had an absolute blast. We had so much fun that night. Except my job, Brittany made my job to make sure if Kiz got too drunk to take care of him.
No, that's a good job.
I'm like, you want me to take care of that one.
That's a good job. Why don't you go ahead and cure AIDS while you're at it?
Why don't you call Peter Malnati to get out here and take care of Kiz when he gets drunk?
Work on that COVID vaccine while you're at it. As long as we're doing impossible
shit. I'll tell you two stories because we haven't talked about this. I literally haven't talked to you other than telling you thank you. But Brittany says at some point she's told you that it was time to get me off the stage. Mm-hmm. And so y'all both like talked me into it, and I was coming and I like made it halfway down the stairs, and I was like, fuck y'all, I'm out. And I just turned around, went back on the stage. She's like, God dang, Colt, we lost him.
No, first off, she said, grab him. And I go, first off, I know when he's drunk, and if you grab him, what's going to happen next? There might be a swing, so I'm not going to do that. So I was trying to trick you. It didn't work, but hey, either way, no one got hurt all night. We had a blast. We had a public concert, then we had a private concert back at the
Raised a bunch of money.
Oh.
My second story is your two guys from Augusta, Rob Johnson, Nick Evans, who are both on my foundation board, great guys, called me that Monday night. When I got to St. Simon's, I was in my room. It was like 8 o'clock and the phone rings. And it's Rob Johnson. I'm like, oh, God. So I answer. I'm like, hey, what's up, Rob? And he's like, I just wanted to let you know that I had the greatest guest experience of my entire membership career at Augusta National today. Your guys were exceptional. They were disciplined, which I laughed at, disciplined, respectful, and were the greatest guests that I've ever had. I had the most enjoyable day of my membership career. So cheers to you, Colt.
Boy.
There you go.
Well, I guess that
You
money.
I guess that money we gave from the bathroom right now. It's a bad time to tell him you hijacked all the shit.
I actually stapled a picture of myself in the crow's nest, left my mark, and I bolted out of there.
Yeah. See ya. I'm out.
All right, next one. Have you ever slept in a room full of snakes?
No, but I've dreamed about them.
Tell us, because I've recently learned you're a sleepwalker.
Yeah, well, I'm a crazy dreamer, night terror guy.
Okay, well, I want to hear if you say the same story that your buddy Scott Brown told me.
Oh, shit. Brownie and I used to stay together all the time, and he caught me one time on top of the air conditioner unit.
He said he woke up like, what the fuck is going on? He said, there's a bunch of snakes down there.
What are you doing? Save yourself. Join me.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was bad. You know when you stay in like a Hampton Inn, they got that wall unit under the window?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I was on top of that in a fetal position like this, and he woke me up. And I was like, he's like, what the fuck are you doing, man? I was like, dude, you don't see all the snakes on the ground? I'm not fucking with them. I'm out.
Come up here. There's room for two. Save yourself.
I didn't know you were such like a weird sleeper like that.
Yeah, it is odd.
Oh, not in my house normally, man. Just on the road. Never do it in my house.
Well, you have a tough profession.
But
that.
Yeah, luckily you're only gone 50 weeks a year.
Yeah.
Brittany will tell you. Brittany's got all the stories. She'll tell you like hotels. I'll be out of the bed, ripped all the covers and sheets off the bed, and she's just laying there like, what the fuck, man? Yeah, I'm always doing something weird.
Okay, next one. All right, you're driving down the highway and it's a downpour, okay? You see two guys hitchhiking on the side of the road. You only got one seat available in your car, okay? Pull up. One dude is Nick Saban. The other one's Urban Meyer. Who are you picking up?
Nick Saban.
Oh, wow.
Oh, the dogs hate Florida, bud.
I know, but not Nick. It's been a long time. Yeah, leave
Urban seems like a loser.
Yeah, he ain't doing himself too many favors right now. He might be. Even that actually might be a real scenario here pretty soon.
Yeah, Urban. I mean, what is he even doing this year?
Not.
Did y'all see that story where he told all his assistants to stand up and prove themselves as to why they coach for him?
Oh yeah, I think he's just trying to get fired.
Well, are you not the fucking idiot that hired them? Like,
Exactly.
what are you even doing?
Correct.
Oh, it's
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but like, hey, you fucking hired them, bro.
Yeah. After his little incident up in Columbus too, I take some balls. After that,
just a small incident. Hey, I'm gonna send my team home. I'm gonna hang out up here and grind on some chicks.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Arguably, though, I did see a couple. That was their Halloween costume.
It was a hot Halloween
genius.
costume. Hot.
I love that.
Hot in the streets.
All right, next question. What was worse for the game of golf? Charlie Hoffman making it to the PGA Tour, or Riggs making that putt to beat you in the 4-play scramble?
Riggs.
God damn, I've never rooted for a putt not to go in more.
The only problem with that Riggs putt is nobody in the entire planet thought it was going in except Riggs.
He is a very confident putter, by the way. He thinks he
God,
is
it
Tiger
pisses
in
me
2000.
off. His game is so shitty, and he somehow still has confidence in that putting.
God bless him.
Oh, God, that was so
Like,
bad.
literally, I was like, all right, dude, we're just going to lag this down there and tie, and we'll all laugh about it and have some beers. And he made that putt, and I was like, oh, my God, I'm going to lose to these clowns.
Tough break, Kiz.
Yeah, that was a bad day for golf. Grow the game went to shit after that point.
Charlie Hoffman making it to the tour is a close second, I'll be honest.
Very close. For how many years has Charlie been on tour?
Too
20?
many.
A lot.
22 minutes.
They need to get rid of that Texas Open.
Yeah, just get rid of San Antonio. We'll lose
Dump
Charlie.
that shit event and let's get rid of this guy. Monahan needs to make that announcement. In an effort to get rid of Charlie, we're eliminating Texas from the schedule.
How about, just to further define him as a Seagull, the fact that he wears a shirt around that says Valero Texas Open with his career earnings from that tournament on it. Like, Jesus. Are you kidding me?
I want to hate it, but I respect the hell out of it. I really do. I think that's a strong move.
Oh, I love it.
All right, we're gonna.
He wasn't on the board with me. I could probably make a motion to get that tournament done with, but he'd probably vote that one out.
Do you need unanimous? Overrule him somehow.
We need 3. We need 3/4.
Oh, you can handle that. All right, we're gonna stay on the rigs topic here for a second. Who do you think has a deeper, undying, unconditional love for you? Riggs or your wife? Like, take a bullet for you, step in front of a train for you. No one can touch my guy. Riggs or your wife?
Man, it's probably close.
It
I'd
is.
hope my wife does, because Riggs made me exactly $0. But yeah, I'm gonna go with my wife.
It's close, dude.
But there's plenty of time. There's plenty of times in our relationship where I would say Riggs.
I think Riggs is at home, like, cutting the skin off of a Kevin Kisner doll, wearing it around at night. And of a Lecter style.
I mean,
the problem with Riggs is he's actually smart, so you can't fuck with him too much because he's pretty smart.
I mean, he loves you so much, he switched to Team Europe.
That's true. He literally committed treason for you, dude. I don't know. Would your wife do that?
No.
We lock people up in Guantanamo for that shit.
Oh, God. All right.
I love you, Riggs.
Last question. You know, you give your coach John Tillery a lot of credit. He's got you going in the right direction. Things have been great. But what would you say his worst coaching moment with you was?
Oh, goddamn. Worst coaching moment. There's somewhere. Oh, man. Probably at Colonial.
Yep.
Did you call him?
He said you would have 5 PGA Tour wins if it wasn't for him.
So his cousin is the lead guitarist for Collective Soul, who happened to be playing the concert during Colonial. And on Thursday night, I shot like 3 or 4 under. I'm in top 10. And he's like, you want to go listen to the music for a little bit? And that turned into 3 a.m., me rolling into the hotel. And I had to tee off the next day. And I was like so content that I wasn't going to let Dewey know that how shitty I felt when I played the next round. So I'll never forget, I was on the 10th tee starting the day at Colonial. And there's that creek right there, right in front of the tee. And all those people are around the wall. And I'm like standing there with a hybrid or a 3-iron. I'm like, I'm gonna top this in the creek, like standing over the ball. I know I'm about to top this. And I somehow hit it, probably blocked it in the right rough or something. But I just faked it along all the way around to number 9. And I'm like, holy shit, I'm even par and I'm going to make the cut. Somehow I'm going to make this cut. And I had like a 9-iron on into number 9 to that right pin. And I hit it in the middle of the green to 20 feet. And I handed Dewey my 9-iron and I said, you have no fucking idea how good this round is. And he's like, what? I said, I am so hungover, I can barely stand up, and you haven't caught on one bit, and I'm about to shoot even par, and I'm going to bed. And he's like, holy shit, you played it off so well. It's incredible. and I ended up finishing like 4th in the tournament.
Yep.
And could have won easily if I just shot like 2 under that bet.
Yeah, he goes, I cost my man a PGA Tour
Damn.
win.
All right, your work is pro bono the rest of the year there, JT.
That is greatness. Well, Kevin, this has been so much fun. I wish we could go even longer, but you're the best, man. We got to do this in person someday.
I'm ready. If y'all ever have me out there to Scottsdale, fancy Scottsdale, I'll be in.
You know you're always welcome.
Yes, sir. Anytime.
Oh, I forgot to ask you, too.
I'm not like Riggs. I'm not like Riggs. I won't just ask to come. I'll just wait on the invite.
Well, he's going to get like a text notification as soon as you land down in the state of Arizona. There'll be something that alerts him. Kisner has landed. He'll be right there.
Well, Kiz, man, we really appreciate it. Have a great night, dude.
All right, y'all too. Thanks for having me on, and all the best to y'all. Y'all have a happy holiday. Merry Christmas. And I know y'all don't have kids, but I got plenty, so I'll be playing Santa.
Sleaze has got the second one on the way.
Yeah, I got one and one.
Are you doing, Sleaze?
Any
I didn't
minute
know that.
now, bro.
I'm sorry, bud.
No, you're all good.
Any minute. Sorry. Could happen right now while we're
finishing. Could have happened an hour ago. I don't know.
All right, Colt, you just keep practicing.
All right, buddy. We will. See you later.
See you, bro. Thank you.
Bye.
All right, bye.
All right, well, that was Kevin Kisner joining us on Golf Subpar. One of my favorite interviews we've had to date, Sleaze. I mean, the man he lets it fly. He's open. He's honest. He's no holds barred. He's Kevin Kisner.
He's one of the few dudes you can get who's like a name brand on the PGA Tour that really doesn't give a shit about saying anything that might potentially get him in trouble. And that's why people love him, by the way. He says what a lot of people think, but he doesn't care about getting in trouble for it. No, love him. He drinks a glass of wine, a little lipper in the mouth. He's perfect.
Yeah, and that's how he is. He's not scared to play anybody head-to-head. His match play record is a joke. I can't believe he hasn't been on a Ryder Cup team yet. Hopefully he will before his career's over. But just how outspoken and open he is, I'll never forget the audio picked him up at Augusta one year, and he's on number 12, one of the hardest holes ever. He's over the shot, and he's mid-over it, and his caddy Dewey's trying to tell him something. He's like, "Who cares? I'm in last." Boom, hits it. Like that's just Kiz. That's what he does.
That's exactly right. And you mentioned the Ryder Cup. Do you think we went a little hard on Riggs during that?
No.
We're talking about that. I mean, the guy damn near gave up his U.S. citizenship to vouch for Kevin Kisner being on the Ryder Cup team, and that didn't happen. He was pro-Europe, and now players were fading him all week long.
Riggs hates on every one of my Instagram posts that I do, whether it be for CBS or Golf Subpar, so I'm perfectly fine with us burying him.
No such thing as bad pub, but yeah, we got into him a little bit there. But like I said, the guy damn near committed treason for based on his love for kids.
It's USA all the way, buddy.
So yeah, 100%, and we'll see how that went for him.
But these Kevin Kisner is the guys we need on these pay-per-view events.
Without question.
These made-for-TV events, the matches. Kevin Kisner is one of the best trash talkers on the planet. He's got great game. He's a great player. Let's get him on there.
100%. You couldn't he would be the number one draft pick if you polled all the golf fans across the country. Like, who you want in this thing? First pick, Kevin Kisner. Yeah. And then let him pick who's the guys you got the best rap with. This guy, the golf is good across. No one shows up to see the best golf in the world. You know what I mean? Like, you got that every single week on the PGA Tour. Give us guys they're all really good. They're on the PGA Tour. Give us the guys with the best rap. Kiz is that. He'd be a 10 in that. And I don't know why someone had. Maybe it's up to us to get this thing done.
All right. Well, hopefully when this episode airs, he's a happy man.
You can be happy or pissed.
Right as we're getting ready for the start of Georgia, Alabama, and the national championship game. So we'll see what happens. Either he's going to be a happy Kiz promoting the podcast for us, or an angry kid. Either way, he's going to promote it. I'm going to make him.
Yeah, he's either going to be really happy or really pissed. Same with JT. There's some dudes invested in tonight's game. So yeah, by the time this airs, someone's going to be not happy.
All right. Well, before we left you for a little holiday vacation, a little couple-week break, we gave you a little parlay out there with our boys at FanDuel, the greatest sports book in all the world. A little 2-team parlay. We each picked something we liked over the Christmas holiday. I took the Indianapolis Colts plus a couple of points.
Way to
the
pick
Arizona
them before
Cardinals.
They went to the shits.
Yep, exactly. Winner.
Smart.
And you had the under in the Georgia-Michigan game. Also a winner.
Under by a hook.
We have been on a freaking heater, Sleaze.
Heat right now, dude. Heat. And I was firing these same gamers off like I love to all the time this past week. I don't want to curse myself and say like I'm hot in gambling, because then the next thing you know you don't win anything. But dude, I'm going right now, and I am heavily invested in this showdown between Bama and Georgia.
All right. Well, I can't wait. And guess what? New York, welcome to FanDuel.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go, New York. We are not only celebrating our 100th episode, but also the launch of FanDuel Sportsbook in New York, and want you to join the action and get amongst it with us. From Brooklyn to Buffalo, now you can bet on all your favorite teams. And best of all, new customers can get started with a risk-free first bet up to $1,000 when you sign up with promo code SUBPAR. FanDuel is New York's sportsbook, and they have more lines than the subway.
Yeah, all you New York degenerates, good news. Kick those scumbag bookies to the curb. Come over here to FanDuel. The water is warm. It's safe and secure. You can get your money right away in as little as 2 hours. Number one sportsbook in America. Awesome promos each week. You get odds boosts and things like that. And I don't need to mention it again. Same game parlays. Yes. That's all you need to say.
Yeah, it's safe, secure, quick payouts, nothing better. But this week, we're going to make y'all some more money. We're going to go to the Sony Open, second straight week in Hawaii. Waialae Country Club, short, tight golf course. One of my favorites. We don't get many of them out there.
There are not many.
Not many.
The man that just came on the show, Kevin Kisner, that'd be a good look for this week as well. But love this. Hopefully the scoring's a little different. We get some wind. I mean, the place needs some wind. But it's cool because you can see 59s at that place. You've seen them before. And then when the wind gets blowing, you can see a score that's around barely double digits under par.
A couple of years ago, when Cam Smith won around here, it was 11 under in a playoff because the wind blew like hell. I was there. It was a disaster how hard it was blowing.
That's why it's fun. It could be a shootout or it could be pars are good.
You see all types of winners around here. You see Kevin Knost. You see Jimmy Walkers. You see Justin Thomas's. You've seen Paul Goydos. It's an awesome golf course. It's a lot of fun to watch. And this week, I'm going with a guy, Sleaze, who's won around here.
I like that.
This is one of your boys.
Okay. I'm with you. It's one of three guys. Is it Corey Connors?
Great iron. No, it's not. He was close to making my roster.
It's Russell Henley.
There it is.
Okay.
All right. Great iron player. Won here his rookie year. Birdied his last 5 to get the job done. He's going off at plus 3,200. I love that value. Russell Henley is my guy for the Sony Open.
You'll get no argument from me ever with Russell Henley. I fire him repeatedly. I'm going to go with the guy I liked a lot last week, and then they turned out to be 0 wind and dome-like conditions out there in Maui. I'm going to pick him again this week because I really like him. I think he's the best wind player for my money on the PGA Tour. The more it blows, the more I like him. Mark Leishman going off at 19-1. He played good in Maui, even though it really wasn't, I don't think, perfect setup for him with the way the conditions were. Still top 10'd over there. I'm going to get him knocked a little bit of the rust off. Still got a top 10. Now he's coming to a place that I think suits him great, can flight that thing low, chips it great. Mark Leishman, 19-1. Let's stay hot, kid.
All right, well, what are you waiting for? Just sign up at the FanDuel Sportsbook with promo code SUBPAR to get started with a risk-free bet up to $1,000 and get amongst it with us. Must be 21 years and older and physically present in New York. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-877-8-HOPENY or text HOPE New York to 467-369.
Well done.
Wow. All right. Welcome, New York. Glad to have you.
Yes.
Sleaze, I'm heading up to Shadow Creek. Hope to see you next week. If not, it's been a good run.
Yeah, we've had a hell of a show. You know what I mean?
100
things
episodes
happen.
sounds
What are you
pretty
going to do? The Sin City, things have happened.
But if not, I'll be back, and we are bringing the beautiful man himself, John McGinnis, in studio. It is a fun one. Everyone, stay tuned. It's going to be a great episode. Enjoy it. Thanks for 100 great episodes. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.